So we are reading from Srimad Bagvatam, Canto 10, text number chapter 13, text number 51. Yesterday we had read up to text 50, where how Lord Brahma was mystified because all of the friends and the calves that Lord Brahma had taken and gone and hidden them in Brahmalok, all of them were now here. And as he is seeing them, all of those friends and the calves, the boys and the calves, they became into Vishnu forms with the four-handed forms of Vishnu, all with the bluish skin. And it changed right in front of Brahma's eyes, right? And Krishna had expanded himself, right, to fulfill the desires of the parents of those boys and those calves, and also to protect them, right? So all of their attention was fixed on Krishna. Today, even when we are chanting, we cannot fix our attention to Krishna. Our mind keeps wandering. Right? So we should be really thinking and focusing about talking about Krishna, thinking about Krishna every day, tying everything that we do to Krishna. So here in text 51, Sukdev Goswami Maharaj continues that all beings, both moving and non-moving, from the four-headed Lord Brahma down to the most insignificant living entity, had taken forms and were differently worshipping those Vishnu Murtis according to their respective capacities with various means of worship such as dancing and singing. So over here, Sukdev Goswami Maharaj is saying that all of the innumerable living beings, including Lord Brahma, it is said over here that from the four-headed Lord Brahma down to the most insignificant, all of them were sitting and worshipping those Vishnu Murtis. Because now Lord Brahma, he saw all of those boys and the calves turn into Vishnu Murtis. So what other option did he have? Because over here, he was shown that who is Krishna, who is superior. Today, if we see, right, when somebody with a person of power or money or stature walks in, whatever he says, everybody listens to that and they give in to that because they know that person is more powerful. The same thing happened with Brahma and Lord Krishna over here. So Brahma immediately realized what he had done. And in fact, in the next chapter, chapter 14, right, of Canto 10, is the stuti of Lord Brahma. Lord Brahma sings Krishna's stuti for so many verses. And as he is singing, it is said in the Bhagavatam that Lord Krishna was wondering, why is this Lord Brahma sitting and doing this to me right now? I am here to enjoy with my friends, with my parents, with the gopis, and over here he is sitting and taking my time away from them. Right? There were only two instances where the demigods had, there were multiple actually, but there were two big instances where demigods had committed offenses when Krishna was here. First was this, where Lord Brahma took all of the cows and the calves. And the second was Lord Indra, when during the Govardhan Puja, because all of the Vrajvasis, instead of worshipping and making all of the offerings to Lord Indra, they made all of those offerings for Govardhan. So then Indra made it rain for 7 days and 7 nights, not realizing that Krishna is there himself, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Right? But our acharyas have said that Krishna forgave Lord Indra very easily. He forgave Brahma too, but Lord Indra he forgave even more easily. Why is that? Because when Lord Indra made it rain, all of the Vrajvasis, they came and everyone was standing under the Govardhan that Krishna was carrying on his left pinky finger. And in that way, Lord Indra unknowingly brought all of the Vrajvasis, Balram, the Gopis, Radharani, the Sakhas, the Sakhis, everyone close to Krishna for 7 days and 7 nights. Krishna was with everyone. Verses over here when Lord Brahma performed this pastime, he had separated Krishna from his friends. So, but that's why Lord Krishna forgave Indra very easily. Because even though he was making it poor, all of the loved ones that Krishna loved, the reason he had manifested on this earth, he appeared on this earth, all of them were right there with him for 7 days and 7 nights. Right? Just imagine when we are separated from our loved ones or we cannot see them. When we come back, then we feel like, okay, we miss them so much. Right? That you want to sit and spend more and more time with them. And that's what, when it was raining for 7 days and 7 nights, Krishna and all of his loved ones were there with him. So over here, all of them, so it is said that all of the living beings began worshipping those Vishnu Murtis. There were so many calves, so many boys, and they were all of the living entities were worshipping. And this also shows that even Lord Brahma is a position. It is not that Brahma is a demigod forever and ever and ever. Yesterday only we discussed how each universe has a Brahma. They go from one-headed Brahma to millions of headed Brahma and millions of hands they have. Right? Our Brahma has four-headed Brahma, our universe. So Brahma is a Padvi. Who knows what Lord Brahma may become in the next life? Once Mash Parvati and Lord Shiva were sitting on Kailash Parvat, and Lord Shiva began to smile. Ma Parvati asked him what happened. And Lord Shiva replied, "You see that ant over there? He was a Brahma. He was Brahma in the last birth." Right? So even from the Brahma, we need to learn that we can fall down to any position. So anyone who prays to Lord Brahma or to, right, the demigod should understand that they also are a living being. Only Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead. In text 52, it is said that all the Vishnu Murtis were surrounded by the opulences headed by Anima Siddhi, by mystic potencies headed by Aja, and by 24 elements for the creation of the material world headed by the Mahat Tattva. Right? This over here is showing that all of the Aishwarya, all of the opulences of Lord Krishna were there, wherever all of those Vishnu forms were. That's why Krishna said, Sanjaya said in the last verse of the Bhagavad Gita, that wherever there is Krishna, right over there, everything is there. And so over here, this is just the expansion of Krishna's forms, and over there also, everything is there. Opulences, mystic potencies, the elements of creation of the material world, right? Everything is there. So all of this was present. All of this will be present where Krishna is there. They were not present. Otherwise, if Lord Brahma also had these same opulences, then when Lord Brahma came, everyone would have worshipped him. When he came to Dwarka to meet Krishna, everybody would have begun worshipping him, but that was not the case. This only happens to Krishna in his expansion because Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead. Right? In text 53, over here, then Lord Brahma saw that Kal, the time factor, Swabha, one's own nature by association, Samskara, reformation, Kam, desire, Karma, fruitive activity, and the Gunas, the three mode of material nature, their own independence being completely subordinate to the potency of the Lord, had all taken forms and were also worshipping those Vishnu Murtis. Over here, Krishna in those forms what expanded those Vishnu's Murtis, everyone was there, including time personified. All of these personified. So the nature, the reformation, the desire, the fruitive activity, all of them. In fact, the calm, the desire, the lust is said to be so beautiful and so strong that if anybody looks at even Kamdev, immediately loses all their senses and gets attracted to Kamdev so much. But that Kamdev, when he has darshan of Lord Krishna, he faints because Krishna is even more beautiful, more attractive, and he is, of course, the supreme personality of Godhead. So even Kamdev, right, is attracted to Krishna. We are attracted to that Kamdev. Kamdev is attracted to Krishna. And Kamdev faints in front of Lord Krishna. And in fact, even over here in the first line of the purport, you'll see that no one but Vishnu has any independence. Only Lord Krishna, Lord Vishnu are independent. Right? And Krishna, we should always remember that Krishna is the only supreme master and that everyone else is his servant. Whether it is Brahma, whether it is a demigod, whether it is living being. No living being today. So many living beings come and claim that I am God. See, the Prabhupada has said such harsh words if someone says that they are God. Right? That I cannot repeat that. Today, whoever claims that they are God or that I am God, right? We should run the other way because no one other than Krishna has that supreme independence and is that supreme personality of Godhead. Right? No one other than Krishna. In fact, to a spiritual master, now you will say that for the disciple, the spiritual master is not different from Krishna, not different from God. That is correct, but a spiritual master will never come out and say that I am God. Right? But today, a lot of people are coming out and saying that I am God. One Mahapurush is saying that I am Kalki Avatar, keep my picture and worship me, you will get whatever you want. One Mahapurush said, one of his disciples asked them that, do you know what I am thinking? He says, not only do I know what you are thinking, but I also know the next thought that will come to you. Right? So I know your past, present, and future, everything. How is that possible? And people are believing all of that. One Mahapurush said that we should start a trust for the next life. That today, if you are so rich, you are a billionaire, like Elon Musk, Warren Buffett, Bill Gates, instead of leaving all of that money to your kids or to the world, you give it to us. Then when you are reborn as a human, we will find you and we will give you that money. Right? Look where the world is going, who all we're considering gurus. Just in yesterday's Katha, Bapaji was explaining so beautifully about the guru and disciple relationship. Right? A lot of their Romeo and Juliet, right? There's a lot of love stories. There are a lot of stories about brotherhood, about friendship. But only in India will you find also another beautiful relationship of guru and disciple. And in that katha only Bapuji said that today, whoever is doing kirtan, we start considering them a guru. Whoever is doing katha, we start considering them a good guru. Right? A guru has to be assigned to be a guru from his spiritual master and receive those orders. And it has to come from disciplic succession, from Guru Parampara, from Krishna himself. Today, anyone gets up and says that I am Guru. We should be very careful about that. Right, so we'll go to text 54. And over here, Sukdev Goswami Maharaj continues, the Vishnu Murtis all had eternal unlimited forms. They were full of knowledge and bliss. Right? They were all Satchit Anand. They were all Satchit Anand, just like Krishna. They were eternal, they were full of knowledge and bliss. And existing beyond the influence on time. That means they were there, they are currently there, and they will always be there. Their great glory was not even to be touched by the Gyanis engaged in studying the Upanishads. That means that even those learned sadhus who have been studying All of the Upanishads, all of the Shastras, right? They could not even come close. They could not understand the glory, because who understands the glory? Only the devotees, the disciples. Right? By the mercy of the spiritual master, they tell us, they glorify Krishna, and they literally teach us about the glories of Krishna. Then we start developing that love. So if one is just reading the Vedas, the Puranas, right, all of the Upanishads, they cannot even come close to Krishna. Because what does Krishna want? He wants our love. And when does that love start? When does that love start? Love starts when we give up all of the formalities. Just recently in Chandigarh, there was a devotee of Lord Krishna. She was a widow, her husband had passed away. She began to consider Krishna her husband. And again, now we should not start doing this ourselves, but that was this devotee's vow. She had a Laddu Gopal that she used to worship. And every day in the night, she would make Laddu Gopal sleep on the same bed with her, right next to her. And she did this for years and years and years. Now, one day, she had gone out and she came back and she forgot in the night to bring Laddu Gopal into her room, into the bed, and make him sleep. She came and she was very tired or sleepy or whatever happened. She just lied down on the bed and she fell asleep. And you will not believe, the next morning she woke up, her son came and woke her up. Because what had happened was that where Laddu Gopal was situated in his puja room, where he was sitting, from there were small red colored footsteps all the way to the bedroom, and Laddu Gopal was sleeping over there. So the son woke up first in the morning and he saw that and he was amazed. And he went and woke up his mother. And he told his mother, "What happened yesterday?" She said, "Nothing. Why? What happened?" He said, "You forgot to bring Laddu Gopal in here yesterday." She said, "Yeah, oh my God." She remembered, "I forgot." He said, "But look next to you. Laddu Gopal has come right next to you." He walked and they could literally see the lotus footsteps of the Lord over there. So, what the devotees can understand, because all of the boundaries only get surpassed in love. Otherwise, it is such a big offense to bring Krishna and make Krishna sleep next to you on the bed. But when we grow in love, we surpass all of these boundaries, right? And that is the pure love that the devotees develop for Krishna, which Krishna wants when he says, "Offer me a fruit, flower, water, or a tulsi dal, right? Or tulsi leaf." But with love, that love is very hard to come. And over here, the Vishnu Murtis, even when Lord Brahma saw, right? They were Sachit Anand and all of their glories. No common person or even those engaged in studying the Upanishads, the Vedas, could not understand. So, over here, moving on to Shlok 55. Thus, Lord Brahma saw the supreme Brahman, by whose energy this entire universe, with its moving and non moving living beings, is manifested. He also saw at the same time all the calves and boys as the Lord's expansion. And over here, by this incident, right, Brahma was able to see that how Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, how he maintains the universe, right, how he maintains this. And he was able to realize, he had already realized his mistake, but he now felt ashamed over here because he could see that Krishna had to expand himself just so that all of the parents can spend time with their children and no one felt hurt or felt unprotected. So we will end over here, and tomorrow we will continue with the last, and on the last day of Kartik month, with the last 6 to 8 shlokas of this chapter, and try to complete this tomorrow. Before we end, we'll chant together Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. श्री श्री राधा वृंदावन चंद्र बिहारी लाल की जय हो। राधा दामोदर की जय हो। जगन्नाथ बलदेव सुभद्रा महारानी की जय हो। गौर निताय की जय हो। जय जय श्री राधे, जय जय श्री राधे, जय जय श्री राधे। हरे कृष्ण।